What's up, Aries? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a full moon tarot reading. This is going to be a full moon in Pisces, but there's going to be a conjunction with Saturn that starts in Aquarius. The conjunction, once it gets to about 8 degrees of Saturn, and it's going to make its way into Pisces. Saturn's retrograding right now, and it's going to be opposite the sun, and it's been opposite the sun a while. It's been opposite the sun while it's been in Leo as the sun is moving into Virgo. But when the moon is truly full, it will be at 7 degrees Pisces. It'll be at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be in the 27th mansion of the moon, also known as Alfar Galtani. I'll put a little picture on the screen, and you can read kind of what it's all about. It's good for business and commerce, farming and gardening. If you're into that, it's a great one for healing. If you need to heal from something, it's a good time to be healing. It's not good for travel or starting new projects or building anything. There will be some descriptions in the picture I put up, kind of give you an idea of what some of the old occultists said about this mansion of the moon. The biggest deal will be that conjunction with Saturn. It will occur in Pisces. Pisces is a very dreamy sign. For Aries, if you're an Aries ascendant, does it count? Because for your houses, you're going to feel the energy regardless, but if the house it'll be in for an Aries ascendant will be the 12th or the 11th, and the 12th house is Pisces' house. The 11th house would be Aquarius' house, but this energy is going to be all about dreamy energy, because it's opposite the sun, this conjunction between the moon and Saturn. And it's rough when anything's conjunct Saturn, because it's sickness, it's death, it's restriction. It's limiting. It's setting boundaries. It's making things take longer. But with it opposite the sun, with a little balance, you're going to be able to bring things to light, because there's a lot of secrets in Pisces, a lot of secrets in the 12th house. So if it is in your 12th house, opposed to the 11th house, which would just kind of be how you relate to the world, into the grand scheme of the your community or civilization as a whole, how you present yourself in that world. But it's a good time, like I said, just because they mentioned the moon, it's a good time for healing. But also, Pisces can also be about healing, and it being in Virgo can be about healing, and it's also about service. Those two houses, the 12th and the 6th, can be associated with what you do for humanity in this life. So if you have a heavy 6th house, heavy 12th house, or heavy Pisces, heavy Virgo, your life's going to be consumed a lot with how you can serve the world, whether you know it or not. Even if you don't actually, that's on the bottom. That's what it'll be about. So this is going to be a really powerful full moon. We're all going to feel it. You're probably going to feel it a few days before, up into once the conjunction starts with the moon. So you're going to feel it probably right here. You're going to feel it on the 28th, 29th. You're going to feel it all the way probably through the first, second, a little bit. It's going to be powerful. Saturn is going to bring a lot of secrets to light, no doubt about that. So you have confidence is your key to success. For Aries, that should be no problem. And this energy is gaining momentum. So it's something that you're working on right now, or that you're trying to expand on or create in your world. And if that's what you're doing, saying confidence is key, that should be nothing for Aries. Y'all ooze confidence. Depending on where it's at in your chart and how strong it is. Not just sun, moon, or rising. If you have stelliums, a bunch of conjunctions there. Mars in Aries with a lot of aspects on it. All that would make for a powerful Aries, and you'd want to watch the Aries. But anyway, this energy right now is going to be pretty rough on some of us. It's good for healing. It's possible to bring things to the light. For example, the moon can also represent the mother. So if Saturn is touching the mother, you can learn that your mother is sick. It's a possibility. And it can bring something to light. It's a sickness that needs to be healed in your mother. It could also bring death, but I don't wish that on anybody. Just know that's a possibility. It can be your inner world is going to be it's going to set boundaries in your inner world. It's going to test your boundaries in your inner world, the way you think and feel about certain things, and it's going to bring that to light, and you're going to see that in your world. It's going to reveal secrets. It's going to reveal secret enemies. It may restrict travel, and with the mansion of the moon, it makes a lot of sense too with this all going on. So There's going to be some powerful energy coming from Saturn. He's going to be opposite the sun, touching the moon. For you, Aries, if it's Aries ascendant only, you're talking 12th, 11th house. So it would be affecting Pisces energy anyway in the 12th house because Pisces would be your 12th house. So it'd be really strong for you for things in the unconscious being made conscious. Your dreams may be very vivid. There's going to be like kind of an open conduit between the unconscious world and the conscious world. And I mean, this is like if you're into meditation, into lucid dreaming, this will be the time for it. This is a perfect time for that type of energy. This is your current situation or question. Got the Ace of Cups, the Eight of Rods, and Justice. It looks like it's a question about new love, if I had to guess, or a question about new relationship in some way. But it looks like it's something legal or some kind of balance. It's some kind of message coming in, right? This is a message. It could be a message about a legal matter. I don't know what legal matters you may have going on. It could be something with like, criminal. It could be just like a lawsuit. It could be something with like marriage, anything like that. Like it could be divorce, those types of things. I don't really see anything. And it definitely could be divorce if you have a question about divorce or a breakup, because there's a heartbreak card here in the outcome. But it's looking like your question, it's like your question is about getting messaging about something that's emotional or about a relationship specifically. And it's, it could be something with, like I said, with courts, something with justice, something with balance. Your question is about, is there going to be justice in the situation, and are you going to feel good about it, right? That could be what the question is. Is this message that you're waiting on from whatever, it could be a legal entity, is it going to be, an overwhelmingly happy outcome? That's the question. Is your cup going to overfill from this message? It's whatever this situation that you're creating, its energy is gaining momentum, and confidence is the key to your success. So whatever you're trying to build, and you could be signing like legal documents or papers, like if you're trying to create a business, if you're doing anything that involves like official documentation or even courts, it looks like you're waiting for a message through that. And you're asking if it's going to be the outcome that you want, like getting approval for something. This is the current path that you're on. You have the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. So you have a couple sevens here. And this looks like you have a lot of ideas about what it's supposed to be, but you're not really seeing the results of whatever it is that you are. And we'll clarify on it. Like you're imagining what this message, whatever this message you're waiting on is going to be. It feels like it's an approval for something. It could be like a patent, if you're getting a patent for something. And you don't know yet. It's some kind of, you've been planting seeds. You've been building and creating something, and you're waiting for a message, or you're hoping that it moves forward quickly, whatever it is that you're building. Like whether it's a business, you're looking for justice in the situation and balance and truth. And you're hoping maybe that bringing forth this truth, that, the message, it could be the message is what you're bringing forth. Maybe you have a social media platform. Maybe you're doing YouTube. Maybe you're doing Instagram, anything like that, TikTok. And you're hoping that your message is going to be received well by everyone. And you have all these ideas on what you want to do, right? But as of now, you don't really know what the results will be. But how can you really, right? We don't really know. We can only work toward what we want. And you're planting all kinds of seeds, and you have all kinds of ideas on what you need to do. And that seems like that's the current path that you're on. So feels like you're still building whatever this is, and you're trying to create. And that's the current path that you're on. This other path that you can choose is walking away and create. It looks like it's walking away and creating something different. You have two major arcanas here. So this would be walking away, and it's saying walking away from your manifestation, or walking away from what you've put your energy into. This could be a lot of energy that you're putting in here. And it could be that you're trying to, have power in some way over the material realm. That's kind of what that represents, having power over the beast, or power over, the basic physical manifestation and world. And that's what that is. So whatever it is that you're walking away from, it's like you're walking. Like over here, you have all these ideas about what you want to create. Over here, you're walking away from what you're trying to manifest, and what you felt like you've had power over. Or maybe you want to manifest something new because you want more power over the situation. We'll clarify on it and see what it has to do with. It's that maybe you don't feel like maybe these ideas you have over here and what you're trying to create right now on this path, you have these ideas and you want to plant these seeds, but you're not really seeing the results that you thought you would or that you want to see. And you just need a little patience if you ask me, but we'll clarify. But over here, it's like, walking away from it because you don't feel like you're having a power over it you thought that you did, and that it's not necessarily manifesting in the way that you thought exactly. So you want to, if you walk away here, it's going to be more of a different type of manifestation, maybe along the same lines, but maybe a different creative application or manifestation of how you do it. This is the advice. This is, saying be strategic, be patient. With the 3 of rods there, he's waiting. And if you look behind him, he's got it's all green and beautiful behind him, and in front of him, it's all barren, right? And that's what it is. You've done the preparation of what you needed to do, right? So that's why it's all green and fertile behind him. And in front of him, it's barren, and you're waiting for what you're building now to become fertile and beautiful. And it's a wish that you have, and it's saying stick with that wish, and you might have to be strategic about it, right? You may have to see where you have to cut in certain ways, and where you need to, and what you need to leave, right? Because he's taking some and leaving some others. So you probably are going to have to decide, make a judgment on what you want to keep in this thing that you're building, and what you want to leave behind. It's interesting. But if it has to do with relationships, and it definitely could be, because you have the Ace of Cups here. On the outcome, it's looking like a heartbreak. But you have 2 2s. Up there you have 2 7s. Down here you have 2 2s. So with the Master Builder down here, that's the Master Builder numbers. So juggling money, not being able to see a decision, heartbreak in some way. Could be physical heart issues. If you're older, I would watch out. Taking care of yourself. Maybe don't smoke, drink, eat too much sugar, that type of thing. Could be, like I said, you may not be you have heartbreak over the results that you think you should be getting. Or if it is a relationship aspect, it's something that you're hoping to start a new relationship or something new that you're really passionate about. And if you do walk away, it may be because you feel like this. You don't feel like it's manifesting, or maybe you don't feel like you have the control over it that you thought you should. And so maybe you choose this path over here. And even over here, you can't really see the results. And here you can't see the results, at least not now. And I think the results you may be looking for are financial, because it's saying you're feeling like you have to juggle a bunch of money, and maybe this new project of what you're trying to create or start, or what you were trying to start a new business with. Like maybe you were trying to get a patent, start an LLC, something like that. Maybe you're not, it's not going as fast or as quickly as you thought. And it's something you're definitely emotionally tied into. But at the same time, it looks like it definitely could be, and it could be marriage. It could be a question of marriage, right? Because, it could be a message with the 8 of rods. With the Ace of Cups, you're talking about a new relationship or new love. And right here, that's a court, that's justice of the peace kind of thing. And maybe you were going to ask someone to marry you, or the other way around, you were hoping to get asked to be married, and it didn't kind of happen. Maybe it didn't happen now, or maybe you thought you were going on a trip or something like that, and you thought you were going to get asked, and they just happened to not. They hadn't planned it, even though maybe you thought they should, or that they would. Could be something like that. Definitely. But it's saying confidence is key to success. So whatever this is you're trying to create, if it is like a new relationship, and maybe it wasn't necessarily a proposal, it could be. Or maybe it's something to do with, I guess it could be a divorce too. It could go the same way. You're hoping to get maybe a different message. Like you're hoping that you wouldn't get divorced in some way. Or that there would be a message about it from the court that would be in your favor. And maybe you're trying to get divorced so that you can get with someone else. Because sometimes you're trying to marry someone else. Like people will be trying to get divorced, and their ex-spouse won't sign the paperwork kind of thing, so that they can't get married to the new person. That old cliche. It could be something like that where you're like, yo, I'm trying to get you to sign this and they won't. And they're freaking holding you back from getting with the person that you want to be with because they won't sign the paperwork. And it could be something definitely like that. But we're gonna clarify on it for sure. I'm gonna clarify right here in the middle because we're trying to get a better view right there. Whether it is yeah, it's Ace of Cups again. Can't make this up. Ace of Cups on the Ace of Cups. So this situation, I mean, with the Hermit here, I mean, a Hermit can represent wisdom. It's generally feeling alone. And it could be something like that. Like maybe you feel alone. Maybe it is something to do with a divorce. Or someone you've separated from and they're holding you back. You feel like they're holding you back from being able to get with someone else in some way. Because it looks like there's argument right there with the Five of Rods, strife. If you can see it. You get the Ace of Cups again. So the question seems to be about a new relationship or a new beginning in love, for sure. And then maybe right now you feel like you're alone or abandoned in some way. Maybe there was fighting or strife. There's strife. Do you know this is people squabbling? Most times it's like arguments kind of thing. Maybe you feel like, or maybe the person that you're with or were with, it could be that you're with now, is kind of a hermit type. They like to stay inside. They don't like to go do anything. You know, like maybe you're arguing about that. Could be something like that for sure. But yeah, it could be that you're just trying to balance your, private life with actually having a social life kind of thing. And that's what the Justice card's about, balancing those things. Or maybe you're trying to balance that within yourself. Like you want to get some new love. That card definitely wanted to come out. Could be with an earth sign. But that's the card I don't want to come out by itself. Could definitely be an earth sign. And that's a fiery earth card, so it could be a combination of those things. But that's really a heavy earth card there with the Knight of Discs. Oh, right there wanted to come out too. Oh, we got 3 cards that want to come out here. So this is suggesting, yeah, definitely something with money. See, down here is juggling money. So if it is a divorce, divorces can be nasty. And it could definitely be something with money involved, if it's something like that, or even separating from someone in some way. A lot of times money can be involved. Even if you just live with someone for a long time, and you're like trying to separate because for whatever reasons. And your question could be that like, hey, I've separated from this person. Am I going to have this new beginning coming in? Am I going to get justice and get balance? And it could be that, again, you're trying to marry someone that you're really interested in, that you're with right now as well. And you feel like that's not happening at the pace that you wanted it to. If it is something like a new creation with like business, like I said, something creative with all these ideas that you have, and it definitely could be. You have the Knight of Discs. You could be working with this individual, whether it's a love partner or whether it is like a business partner. Could be an earth sign, earth or fire, if I had to guess. But it looks like the current path that you're on, the one where you have all these ideas and you're planting all these seeds, but you're not seeing the results, it feels like you don't have, maybe you're working for someone, and you're not getting the creative opportunities that you think you should have. Because there's an Ace of Discs there, 3 of Rods in this deck, which is virtue, which is being virtuous, and then the Emperor, which would be like a boss. It's like maybe you're being loyal to a boss and working for them, or with the Ace of Discs there, it's basically saying that you want to be the boss. Like you want to be a good boss, because it's virtue, right? You want to be a good boss, but you want to be the boss. And you want to create that big money. Or you want to, if it's something to do with a divorce, you're trying to get the big money from this individual that was overbearing and maybe you're no longer with. And you were virtuous in the relationship and they weren't. And that you have all kinds of ideas about this. Or this, if you're looking for love, and it could be that, like I said, it could be earth or fire with that. It could be an Aries for sure. I mean, Aries and Aries, that's a rough combination, bumping heads. But again, it's not just about sun signs or sun sign and moon sign. There's way more to a synastry chart. You'd actually want to look at Venuses in a synastry chart, where your Venus was and where their Venus was, or where your sun is, their moon is, or vice versa, depending on if you're male or female. And honestly, it really doesn't matter. Both of you, You want your sun and moons to balance in some way. Having like your sun being Leo and then their moon being Aquarius, that actually balances, even though it stares across the zodiac, because those things will lift up whatever you're lacking in the other individual, because Aquarius sits across from Leo, so they balance each other out. So whatever it is that you may need to learn or know about in your life as an Aquarius, you'd want to learn it from a Leo most of the time, and vice versa. So that's why it would make a good balance. Or even have them in the same sign. I mean, that means you're probably just going to get along really well. Or you'll see things similarly, but a lot of times that can get old really fast for people. So you got to be careful with all that. And don't put everything in on astrology, right? Like I said, it's about being conscious of the energies, and then you can work with them. Once you're conscious of them, they don't really rule your life like they would if you're unconscious of them. You're just going to feel these energies, and bad things are going to happen at certain times. You're like, oh, why? And you're not really going to know. But if you have an idea and you know what's going on with the energies and the transits and all that, you have a better time navigating them because you know what's going on. And when you're conscious of something, you have a better chance of integrating it, and it doesn't hold as much power. Because knowledge is power. Gnosis, knowledge, wisdom. Know thyself, gnosis. See what this other path is. It looks like you're trying to create big money on this path if it has to do with work, for sure. If it's a new relationship or divorce, you're trying to get money out of that thing. Or it's like dreaming of a guy that's virtuous with lots of money. That's a man's man. I mean, it could definitely be that, because it looks like there's a lot of, if it's an asked about an individual, it looks like that's what you're hoping for, but not necessarily seeing it, which that's a lot to ask for. And it could be a Aries woman too. I mean, if you're a man wishing for those things, I mean, who wouldn't wish for that? I want a woman that's virtuous, rich, and is strong and confident. I mean, I'd want that too, and vice versa. If you're a woman wanting a man, or if a man wanting a man, woman wanting a woman, whatever. Those are great attributes to have. Can't lose with that. This other path seems like it would be, walking away from that and maybe creating something different. Creating something that makes you feel like you have more control over the situation. But I'm trying to get the cards to give me and it says confidence is key, so either way, I feel like that even if it doesn't feel like it's manifesting right now or like exactly how you want or as fast as you want, I think you just got to stick with it. Stay confident. And it says the energy is gaining momentum. So if the energy is gaining momentum, it's only a matter of time. Well, something big. Yeah. So, okay, so yeah, over here it's creating a new project because you have the Empress here with the Hierophant and the Princess of Swords. So, she's very pregnant in this deck, but I don't see anybody getting, it could be actual getting pregnant now, don't get me wrong. If I can get this to focus any. And you got the Princess of Swords will be like a message. And this could be marriage again, right? Because it's the Hierophant. You could also say the Hierophant's marriage. But again, it also could be an absolutely new project. So it could be that you want more control of your project. And again, if that's something to do with a boss over there, maybe you want to be the boss, or you're working for someone who is the boss, and you don't feel like you're getting, maybe they're a good boss and you're making good money, but you still don't feel like you have the creative control that you want. And over here, whatever it is that you're trying to create is big. It's going to be on a mass scale. You could be trying to go to a bigger company, but it's something that's new. And if it's wishing for love, better be careful, because that could be pregnancy right there. The Empress can absolutely represent pregnancy. This looks like a message, though, with the Princess of Swords. That's some kind of message. This is, this could be about a divorce or something in court. Could be a message about that. Could be a message about something big, like social media, of course, because Hierophant could be that. Could be like a school. Could be like a big university, big corporation. It could be something about traditions it could be definitely something traditional. You could be your idea of what it is. Maybe what you're walking away from is very traditional, and you want to create something like new and outside of the box type of thing. Yeah, or it is something traditional that you're working on anyway that's already kind of accepted, and you want to have more control over that. And again, it could be a message about marriage in some way too. It could be, if it's someone that you're already with, right there. Like I was leaning over here. Yeah. Okay, it really feels like work. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be. For sure it doesn't have to be because you have the works card here on the outcome. And that's what I think it is. Whatever it is that you're working on, if it definitely has to do with work, because you have the 3 of Pentacles here with the 2 of Pentacles and then the 8 of Swords again, which is, in this deck, it's just called interference. Then you have works, which is the 3 of Pentacles, and then change, which is the 2 of Pentacles. In this deck, it's normally learned as the Lord of Harmonious Change. And again, with the Heartbreak card here, though, if it is in love, maybe you felt like you're walking away from whatever that relationship is because it didn't get to where you thought it was. Or maybe you're trying to get pregnant and couldn't. Like maybe you're trying to have kids and for some reason they couldn't or you couldn't have kids. And maybe it has something to do with them and you're like, I want to walk away. Or you wanted to start a family and get married, which is like the message you were hoping to get from them. And that's not the message you think you're getting. And you're like, I'm done. Change in some way. It looks like it definitely could be change. And if it has to do with work, again, you're going to change, right? You feel like in some way it's disingenuous to you in this current situation. And it's saying be strategic over here and be patient. Be confident. And you'll get what you want. And you'll get your wish, whatever that wish is. Like it looks like it could be marriage, it could be divorce. It could be you're trying to get with someone to ask you out. And maybe it didn't manifest the way you did, or maybe they did, but it didn't go the way you thought. Maybe you thought it was going to lead into something better or more permanent, more official, and it didn't. It could be that you're working on something, a creative project with someone else or for a boss, and you're like, yo, I want to be the boss and I want to make more money. And I have all these ideas, but I don't want to just give them out to you for free when I can create this over here. I can walk away and create something new and big for myself. And this also could be a message about marriage and pregnancy. If that's what you wanted to hear from your spouse, either way, whether it's male or female, and that maybe that's not what you heard, but it could be. But it could be that if you walk this path, you will hear this. But that also looks like it's a change from whoever this individual is that you're looking at now, because down here, if it is this individual, this earth or fire individual up here, it's probably not going to work out the way you want it to with that individual. No guarantees. And if it's someone that you're married to, could be divorce. If it's someone that you've been with and want to marry, but you don't think that they're gonna, or for some reason they're not asking you to marry, or you're not willing to ask them to marry you, that kind of thing, then it may be time to switch. But it's saying that if you're patient and strategic, that you'll get your wish, whatever that is. So I think even if you do stick on this path, I don't know. Down here it's saying it's change either way. And you got a lot of 2s down here. You have 3 2s down here. So that looks like a choice that you're going to have to make. But if it has to do with new work, it's like you may have to do this, juggle money for a little while for your new project. But I think you're going to be okay. And the energy is gaining momentum. So just keep working on it and stay confident. And for Leo or for Aries, that should be nothing. And that is a new moon in Leo. These are going to be some challenging energies, Aries, coming up. Your inner world is going to be very, very active, like dreams, unconscious, and there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be brought to the surface that need healing. They're going to have to come to light, whether it just be like internal and external, because it's this moon and the sun. And Saturn's going to test all your boundaries when it comes to all your beliefs and faiths. But this would be a great time for like inner channeling and healing, because if you're 12th, 11th house, you're going to have to either find depending on what degree Aries ascendant you are, it'll be 12th or 11th house. 12th house, it's going to be that same stuff I was saying. It's going to be like unconscious. It's going to be healing. It's going to be service to the world. It could also be loss in some way. It could be something with the mother, like a sickness with the mother. It could be loss of a mother, those types of things. So you have to be ready for those types of energies. Those types of things can happen. It could be a sickness with the mother coming to light that needs to be healed. Something like that can happen. It could be with the moon. It could be even your inner world would need to be healed in some way, because it's conjuncting Saturn, and then that comes to light through the sun. And it also could be something that maybe you've been holding back on internally that you've not been able to talk about, and then this energy brings that to the forth, and you're finally able to talk about it and then get it out, and then that helps you and heals you in some way. So all those energies are playing a role. 11th house, that's probably going to be a little heavier. Or 12th house, it'll be a little heavier. if for you, and if it's 11th house for you, it's going to have to do more with your interactions with your overall world. But anyway, please consider liking and subscribing, Aries, leaving a comment. We're still trying to get up there and build up the subscriber count so that I can start making more videos and more content on the astrology aspect of it. It's already hard for me to invest time in this because I have to live in my normal life and work and do all those things and manage my home and family. So I try to find time for all this. So every like and subscribe helps, and every comment helps the algorithm know that the video is being talked about. Anyway, Aries, thank you, and I'm glad you're here either way, and I hope to see you again.